Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's been shaking up global markets: President Trump's tariffs. In his second term, his aggressive trade policies are impacting countries around the world. In this video, we'll break down what these tariffs are, why they're being imposed, and most importantly, how they're affecting India's economy and industries. Trump's tariff playbook is built on his America First agenda. Unlike traditional protectionist measures, his plan includes a baseline 10% duty on almost all imported goods to the U.S., starting on what he called Liberation Day. This universal tariff is set to go into effect, along with additional, country-specific reciprocal tariffs. His rationale is to force trade partners, especially those with large U.S. trade deficits, to adjust their policies by effectively charging them back for what he views as unfair practices. For instance, China now faces a cumulative tariff rate that can exceed 50%, and the European Union is hit with higher duties on specific sectors. The reaction worldwide has been swift. Major economies from China to the European Union are either retaliating with counter tariffs or urgently seeking negotiations to mitigate the fallout. This aggressive stance by the U.S. has sparked fears of a prolonged global trade war, which could disrupt supply chains, raise prices, and ultimately slow global economic growth. While some sectors might benefit from rerouted supply chains or reduced competition, many businesses and consumers around the world are bracing for short-term pain. Now let's zoom in on India. Among all the countries targeted by Trump's tariffs, India is set to face a reciprocal duty of about 26% on its exports to the United States. This measure is based on Trump's claim that India imposes high tariffs on U.S. goods, up to 52% in some cases, so the U.S. is taking half of that as a tariff on Indian exports. But what does this mean for India? Let's break it down by sectors: agriculture and food products. India is a major exporter of agricultural goods like basmati rice, seafood, and spices to the United States. With a 26% tariff on these items, U.S. importers may start looking for alternative suppliers from countries with lower duties. This could mean a significant hit to India's farm trade, especially affecting the livelihoods of farmers and exporters. Steel and heavy industries. Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum, set at 25%, have global repercussions. Some analysts believe that cheaper steel might flow into India as exporters from China and other Asian nations shift their focus. However, this creates a double-edged sword. Indian steelmakers, already under pressure from cheaper imports, fear that increased dumping could depress domestic prices and force smaller producers out of business. Automobiles and auto parts. With tariffs on imported vehicles and auto components, Indian manufacturers face uncertainty. While some American automakers might source more parts from India to avoid higher duties from China or Europe, there's also the risk that retaliatory measures or increased competition could squeeze profit margins. Textiles and apparel. On the brighter side, India's textile industry might find a window of opportunity. U.S. buyers looking to diversify away from countries hit with steeper tariffs could turn to India. However, quality standards and production capacity will be key in ensuring Indian exporters can seize this opportunity. Pharmaceuticals and IT services. Interestingly, many high-tech and pharmaceutical products are exempt from these tariffs. This means that sectors like generic drugs and IT services, which are already competitive globally, may continue to thrive without direct impact from Trump's tariff regime. Check one, check two, check. Facing these challenges, the Indian government isn't standing still. There are ongoing negotiations between India and the United States aimed at mitigating the adverse effects of these tariffs. Indian officials are in discussions about trade agreements and even considering temporary measures, like adjusting domestic tariff policies or providing support to affected industries, to shield them from dumping and price pressures. Some industry groups are urging the government to seek exemptions or negotiate lower duties on critical exports. The goal is to ensure that while American tariffs may create short-term disruption, India can emerge with a more competitive edge in global supply chains over the long term. It's important to remember that Trump's tariff strategy isn't just about India. It's about reshaping global trade. Increased tariffs tend to raise costs for United States consumers, while also altering the flow of goods worldwide. In the short term, this means higher prices and supply chain disruptions across the board. For India, this mix of opportunity and challenge is particularly pronounced. While some sectors may benefit from reduced competition in certain markets, others, like agriculture and steel, are at risk of increased pressure from both domestic competition and potential dumping by cheaper imports redirected from other regions. So, what can India do to navigate this complex landscape? Experts suggest a multi-pronged approach, enhancing competitiveness. Investing in technology, quality control, and capacity expansion can help Indian industries stay competitive. Diversifying export markets. By expanding beyond the United States market, India can reduce reliance on any single trading partner. Negotiating trade deals. Proactive negotiations with the United States might lead to reduced tariffs or exemptions on key products. Policy interventions. The government could implement measures to protect vulnerable sectors from dumping, ensuring fair market conditions for domestic producers. These strategies will be critical not only in the face of Trump's current policies, but also as the global trade environment continues to evolve. In summary, Trump's tariffs represent a bold and controversial shift in global trade policy. While designed to boost American manufacturing and reduce the trade deficit, these measures have far-reaching impacts. For India, the 26% duty on exports to the United States poses both challenges and opportunities, threatening traditional sectors like agriculture and steel, while potentially opening doors for industries like textiles and technology. What does the future hold? Only time will tell how these policies reshape global trade, but one thing is clear: countries like India must adapt quickly, leveraging their strengths while addressing vulnerabilities. If you found this analysis helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on global economic trends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.